Hey guys, this is your Already Know Games back, but today I'm not doing Minecraft, and I'm not doing a live commentary. I'm going to go over a very extremely low budget, cheap PC made specifically for Minecraft. Now there aren't parts out there that are like, this part is made for Minecraft, because Minecraft isn't necessarily a highly demanding game unless you add a lot of mods, a high quality texture pack with high render distances and like enhanced graphics mods. And this will either be an entry level PC for young kids like 10, 11, a PC that you just want to build maybe for a guest that comes over if you have like $200, $250 in your pocket. Or if you're broke and you are like 15, 14 and you just want something to play a game on. So this is what you can do. So starting off with a case, we're going to be using a Rosewill FBM 01 micro ATX case. It is not the most attractive case, but most likely you'll just put it under your desk, leave it there, you know. The case it has pretty good ventilation, and the case doesn't really matter as long as you put it under your desk. You might like the way it looks, who knows. Moving on with the processor, we're going to be using an Intel Celeron Haswell dual-core CPU. This thing runs about 60 bucks on Amazon. You might be able to get it cheaper, maybe at a local computer parts store. Like I live by Micro Center. But this is an Intel processor. It is Haswell, so it's the 4th generation, the newest generation. It has 2 cores, like naturally, but then I believe it has hyper-threading, so theoretically it has 4 cores. Now, this CPU does have integrated Intel graphics, but excuse me. Intel graphics are definitely not the best at all. That's why we're not going the APU way with the AMD or the AMD Symfron. We're not going to do that because a lot of builds I see that are cheap, like $200, they use the AMD Symfron, which is a single core CPU without hyper-threading, and it is just terrible. It is just unusable for anything. You might be able to launch one game and not be able to have any programs open. With the Intel Celeron, you'll be able to have Skype, Spotify, a browser open, and be playing Minecraft, and it hardly matters. This will also run a couple of Steam games, low-grade Steam games on low settings. You don't really have to worry. With the motherboard, we're going to be going with the Biostar H61MGV3. This is a micro ATX motherboard, and it is very good for its price. It clocks in at $36, which is not that bad at all, considering it has a PCI 2.0, which you can use with PCI 3.0 cards, a PCI 1.0, and a PCI slot. It does not come with USB 3.0, but does have SATA 3, and it has 6 USB ports. So this will be a very good motherboard for a cheap build like this, and I would definitely go with this. You can also grab an MSI motherboard for like $50, and you might have PCI 3.0, but that really doesn't matter because PCI 3.0 cards are acceptable with PCI 2.0 slots. So what are we gonna do? For the memory, we're going to go with G.SKILL NS 2 gigabyte 240 pin DDR3 RAM that clocks in at 1600 megahertz. We're only going to go with 2 gigabytes because you're going to be playing Minecraft, and it's not very highly demanding for the RAM, and it'll be fine because you can still use, like I said, any of your other low-end programs like your browser or Spotify or Skype, and it's not going to slow down your computer at all. Now for the hard drive, we're going to be using a Western Digital Caviar Blue 250 gigabyte. This costs $55, but you can probably find some cheaper at, like I said, your local computer parts store, or maybe Amazon, or maybe eBay. You're not going to be needing a lot of storage because you're mostly going to be playing Minecraft, Spotify songs. You have some pictures, iTunes maybe. You can always bump that up for maybe like $10 extra. For the dedicated graphics card, we're going to be using an EVGA 01G P3 1313 KR GeForce 210. is a mouthful. But, that's what she said. But, for how low grade it seems, it performs very, very, very well on Minecraft. There are a couple videos on YouTube that show you how well it performs, and you will be able to run some low-grade games on it, on Steam with it. Older games, I don't really know any examples right now off the top of my head, but it is a good graphics card for its price. It is only $20, which is extremely, extremely good for its price. It has a great value, bang for the buck, and I mean, you can't really go wrong. For the power supply, we're going to be using a LOGISYS computer PS350MA 350 watt micro ATX power supply, $18. Now, if I were you, I would spend an extra $10 or $20, $30 on a great power supply, because you really don't need to cheap out on your power supply. I mean, you can take the risk, because once your power supply fails, everything shuts down, you have to reactivate Windows, and that really sucks. Very bad. So you might want to go with the Corsair Bronze 800 Plus, maybe. And for your operating system, most likely you're a student because you can't afford a very high grade PC. You're a student, and my school gives us Windows 8 for $10, which is very good, so it will only be like $10 or $20. And this entire